Judge, today's case is not so happy hour.
Anger, alcohol, and an automobile that occasionally disappears. This case has a little bit of everything.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Lynn presiding.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Erica Epperson and Cornelius Epperson. Mr. and Mrs. Epperson, you have been together for 10 years, married for 10 months, and you were in trouble already. Mrs. Epperson, you are seeking almost $2,000 for rent, and I want to talk about that momentarily, but before we do, Mrs. Epperson, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your marriage and what's gone wrong in that 10 months?
Just in a nutshell, I am here because I want to save my marriage.
Okay.
But I am dealing with the narcissist. He's controlling. He stalks me. He'll take my checks, you know. It's a lot, you know, and just...
Give me an example of a stalking.
Well, okay, well, literally, it was the time where I needed him to take me somewhere. And he actually said no. So I called for a ride. And he actually followed us all the way where I needed to go just to make sure that's where I was going.
Now, Mr. Epperson, did that happen?
I believe it did, but it wasn't for stalking, though.
Okay, well, why don't you tell me why that occurred?
Because for the simple fact, Your Honor, when she gets in the car, she goes places, whatever. So I did follow her. She was drinking. This was at night that she's talking about. It wasn't going to a job. It was supposed to be a cousin of hers. So I did follow her to see where it was because, like I said, I think that she's having affairs or whatever. I'm not sure. I haven't had any real proof, but I followed her for the simple fact that I want to make sure she's okay. I don't know where she be or who she be with half of the time.
She says that in the beginning, she asked you for a ride. Wouldn't the easiest way to confirm where she's going is to take her there yourself?
And that's what I normally do, Your Honor. Okay, the job that I have, I leave my job, I go pick her up, I take her to work.
Right.
I have to leave my job to go pick her up from work. Right. So I'm constantly leaving back. So I'm working 3 or 4 hours a day instead of my whole 8 hours. Far as taking her, I do take her where she goes. I've got another car, I purchased another vehicle so she can get back and forth to where she needs to go to work. Right. Not to go gallivanting or doing whatever else she's be doing.
So, well, you didn't answer my question, which was, you know, why didn't you just take her?
Well, again, I do take her and...
No, that particular time.
She wasn't going to work, Your Honor.
I understand that. So you mean to tell me you won't give her a ride anywhere unless she's going to work?
No,
she has to find a ride from somebody else and you follow her as opposed to taking her yourself? That don't make a lot of sense.
That's not true what she's saying. Again, I followed her because she's drinking or whatever, and I want to know where she's going and who she's been with. It's not to work. I take her anywhere she asks me to take her. If she asks me to go to even places that I think she shouldn't be going, I will take her there.
Is that true, Mrs. Epperson? He takes you to places no matter what?
And I'm glad we could bring that back up. Now, he did say he bought another vehicle, right? So when he bought this vehicle, okay, we had one already. Then he bought the other vehicle.
Was that the second one?
That's correct.
Okay.
So when that vehicle came into our driveway, I said, hey, babe, so what is that? It's mine. Mind you, he just said it was for me. That's his vehicle. Now, when both vehicles is his, he bought them both. Now, when he gets upset with me, like he said, if I'm doing something he doesn't want me to do or feels like that's the right thing to do, he'll take the vehicle and hide it at a family member's house. I can't get to work. You see what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's been plenty of incidents where that's happened.
Do you hide the car from her if she's not behaving?
No, I took the car twice because, again, when she's drinking, she drinks. She has a problem. She drinks.
Do you believe she's an alcoholic?
She's an alcoholic, yes, she is. When she drinks, she drives. I don't want her driving
and drinking.
None
of us do.
I care for my wife. I don't want her to hurt herself or anybody else. So, yes, I will take the car and I puts it up.
The drinking is not why he did that. I'm completely sober. It's just when he doesn't get his way. Now, I do drink. I can't help it when I come into...
Can you give me an example one time with, like, you weren't drunk, you were going to work or something, and he still hid the car?
Oh, yeah. That's plenty. But literally one time I said, I'm at the house, and I mean, of course, he'll take it. You know what I mean? So we get into our little confrontations, and basically it's just communication as far as any issue that we may have, and he can't seem to just listen. You know, it's just his way or no way. So no matter what I say, how I feel, it's just, no, you know?
No,
so no offense,
no.
once he, that's why I said once I feel that way, no offense, yes, I need a drink. Because I can't deal with this energy. I can't do that.
So you've never taken the car from her as punishment for not agreeing with you?
No,
She can always get to work on her own, on the car, it's not a problem.
First of all, I purchased the vehicle for me and my wife and my household. I take the car. If you pack up your stuff and you think you're gonna leave me, bye, go. But you're not gonna be taking this car over to where you be at, doing what you wanna do with somebody else or whatever. This car is for my family, my life, me and my spouse. When she goes out and goes to where she's gonna be drinking, I know you're going over there, that's where you go to drink at, I'm going to take that vehicle. Anytime you come home, you have access to that vehicle.
But you got to be sober.
Yes.
But you got to be.
I mean,
now, Ms.
that's
Epperson, now
common
be
sense to me.
honest. Now be honest.
I am, Your Honor.
Do you drink too much? Do you have an issue with drinking?
No. That's why I said that. This is why he brings up the drinking. Because when I do drink, I say something to him. So I'm quiet normally. So I let a lot of things go. You know what I mean? As us women, we may keep holding stuff in. So, I mean, after maybe a good cup of tequila, I do feel like I can tell him how I feel. So once I direct that, and I understand that my direction may be a little harsh when I'm coming off that way, but I've held this in. And I mean, like I said, we've been together for 10 years, so I've been holding this in for a long time.
Give me examples of things that you've had. I need some stories. You both have different points of view, but I don't have any way to assess them because I don't have any facts.
Okay.
Tell me some stories about him withholding the car even when you weren't drinking, something like that.
So, this was at night, literally. Not drinking at all, just sat there. I wanted to talk to him about some issues we were having. At that moment, when it got too deep, he broke the table. And then called
Mr. Epperson, what's your version of that event?
I don't actually remember why it was, but I know it was upsetting me, and to keep my hands off you, you aggravated me, and I said, leave it alone, let it go. She don't want to leave it alone, so I just hit the table and said, just leave me alone. And I hit the table, and it's a glass table, and it broke. That's what that was about.
But you don't remember what it was about?
No, because it's either about me doing something, cheating or whatever that I don't do since I've been with her. Her idea of me cheating is that I was with one of my exes. While we was together, I met her then, and we started dealing with each other. But I was still in that relationship. It was one of my ex-wives.
Oh, I got you. You guys are talking philosophy, but you don't understand the nature of the trouble that you have. You don't have any idea what's going wrong at your house. Do you drink too much?
No.
How often do you drink?
Socially, maybe like twice, let me see, like twice a month.
Or twice a whole
Twice a month?
I said maybe like twice a month. I mean,
so you
like
don't drink when you guys get to arguing and you need to relax, you don't have a drink?
Now, I would say, but we don't talk that much.
We're in court.
You see what I'm saying? Like as you see, like we don't, I hold more things in. You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, no, by the time I have to get to the issue and I want to talk to him about it, he does this. No, because the craziest thing is just like you asked him about an incident that he flipped around something completely different. He still didn't say what happened on what happened there. He went to something else that honestly I didn't want. I'm like, he wanted to bring it up in court, but I wasn't going to bring that part up because that was a different
different incident. Yeah,
a different incident.
Yeah.
So the incident that you asked him about, he still went around. He didn't answer it. And like you asked him, did I hit him? Now, this was in Maryland.
Drinking.
Right?
You're drinking.
No, we were.
No, we're not. Do you see there?
Okay.
You want to talk about her. No. Don't apologize. Listen and learn.
Okay.
You want to talk about her drinking, and that's all you want to talk about. Okay. I wanted to talk about a specific incident. Whether or not she was drinking during it, you can tell me that. But I was talking about the incident, so you can't tell me it's about the drinking, because it's not. It's about what I asked. You with me? I want you to hear that, Mr. Epperson. You get stuck on things.
Thank you.
So give me an example of why you say he's a controlling narcissist.
Like if I'm working, he'll say, you know, give me a check, babe. Give me the check. You know what I mean?
Stop,
give me
Mr.
a check.
Epperson.
So I'll give him the check. You know, I'll give him the check. He'll put it in, you know, his account. Once I realized, so I said, now if I want to get my hair done or something like that, it's, oh, well, you know, I had to do this, or, you know, I had to do this. Where's the money that I just worked for? Why is this going towards something for you?
Do you have just one bank account?
At that time, at the time, I didn't have one, so I would put it into his.
And you couldn't get your money back out. Mr. Epperson, what is your response to that?
It's totally lying. Again, this is one of the problem lying. I do not take her checks. A couple of times, she got her check, she came, she said, babe, here, before the day was over with, where my money at? And I don't spend her money or anything. I gives it back because I don't want no issues with it. I'm not that type of person. I get my own money. I do not get her checks. I don't cash. And me and her never had a bank account where she put money into my account. Never. So I don't know where all this is coming from.
So you're saying she's making that up out of whole cloth?
That's totally fabricated.
Yes, okay. Now that's what's in there. Let me bring up a family member of mine. Let me just put that in there. So that's what I said. Once again, I go out. I picked up a family member, right? I was out. I'm a grown woman. I can stay out. Now, he pulls up behind me and gets out the car and says, oh, this what we doing? This what we doing? Once he realizes it's a family member of mine, he just says, oh, hi, and walks back, gets back to his car and pulls off.
Okay, what's your version of that event?
That is true. Again, it's the area where she be's at. It's the area where she's at, where she's drinking and everything. In the vehicle, again. It's always with the drinking. I'm sorry, but that's what my whole issues is. I went by, I seen a guy in the car with her. I came up, they sitting up there, he laid back, rear back, chilling. Okay, you're a married woman. So who is this you chilling with? I came up again, yes, that's your family member. Okay, it's not a problem, and I'm gone.
How are you going to stand here and say all of that negative stuff about him and still stay? I don't understand. If you would like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Missed a show? Watch full episodes on our streaming platforms, and for exclusive content, go to Apple TV. You guys are talking philosophy, but you don't understand the nature of the trouble that you have. You don't have any idea what's going wrong at your house. You guys get stuck on, well, if this happens, then I do that. If that happens, then I do this. It's always about the drinking. It's all, you know what I mean? There's a whole lot going wrong here. And first of all, Mr. Epperson, I think you're a rigid and occasionally angry person.
Yeah.
And I think that on any given day, anybody can have great justification for any kind of anger they want to get into. They just simply have to submit to it. That's what anger is. It's a submission. It's a loss of power. You've allowed your more primitive part of your brain to hijack your more intellectual part of your brain. The cerebral cortex goes to sleep, the amygdala and all that kind of stuff gets up, and you start acting badly. The response to any problem in your home is not hiding cars or breaking tables or putting people out and all that kind of stuff. If you don't like her behavior, you sit down and have a conversation about the behavior that you don't like. If she is unable to change that behavior, then maybe you two ought not be together. But it's never, anger is never the problem. Mrs. Epperson, you've been together 10 years. You've told me some stuff that would make most people run.
Right.
How are you going to stand here and say all of that negative stuff about him and still stay? I don't understand. Can you tell me something that would allow me to believe that that's a rational choice?
Because after everything happens, most of the time he apologizes. Like, I mean, like he'll come back and our proposal was an apology. You know what I mean? Like, technically. I guess, I don't know. I feel like I'm fighting. That's why I'm here. I feel like I'm fighting for something. I'm not sure why.
Okay. Excellent point. If you were my daughter, this is what I would tell you. You've got yourself an angry, aggressive dude here. I think he's probably a decent dude, but he's got an anger issue. Until he resolves his anger issue, goes into some kind of counseling, I would find you another place to stay, because it's important that he be able to control himself. I also think you're lying about your drink, and I think you probably drink more than you admit to. I think he's right about that. I think he's pissed about it. I think he's hot about it. I don't think he handles it correctly, but I don't think you are being truthful with yourself about how often you pick up that bottle. And the bottle is not a solution to anything. No. It is a brown river to stupid, and it never helps anything at all. If you're not going to leave each other, I'm begging you both to go into counseling individually and then into counseling as a couple, because you both have to deal with the personal issues you have before you can deal with being together. I'm begging you. Can't make you, but I can beg you. $1,950. You want that for 3 months worth of rent. Are you really leaving him?
I'm not in the house right now.
Where are you?
Right now, I'm with a family member.
How long you been with a family member?
It's been about 3 months.
About 3 months. Do you have to pay rent there?
I've been paying rent.
How much rent do you pay?
Well, over there, it's only about $500.
$500. You working?
Yeah, now I am.
Okay. So tell me what else is going on.
She told me she had $7,000. The deal was, what we supposed to be doing was, I pay the rent this month, she's going to pay the rent the next following month. When the next following month came, she just packed, I went to go to work. I came back home 15, 20 minutes later. She's packing all her stuff. Now, I'm stuck to pay the rent that this wasn't in my plan, so I got to pay the rent. I have to pay for the car, registration and everything. Whenever it's time for her to be responsible or whatever, she leave. Now, that family member that she's talking about, she's staying with, is not a family member at all. He's a Mexican or Puerto Rican guy that is no kin to her.
My family member.
Ooh, oh, no, you ain't getting a dime. No, it doesn't matter. You're not getting a dime. You had plenty of money. You were working. You decided to leave. I think you are you drink and bolt. You avoid the problems by drinking and leaving, and he's not responsible for that. So I'm not going to give you any money for that. But did you hear what I said about individual and marriage counseling? You both have deep-seated issues. You avoid, you anger. And I want you to deal with those issues and not get back together until you do. It won't get better on its own. You know what I'm saying? I think you're probably both decent people, but until you accept your anger issue, your alcohol issue, and your running issue, it'll be a revolving door. And then one day, somebody's gonna get hit in the head with that door. And then you'll be in a whole nother courtroom setting. Do you understand what I'm telling you? There will be no recovering this matter. My best to both of you. It is so ordered.
What happens now?
Honestly, prayer, and that's why we gotta just see where it goes.
She suggested counseling. Will you follow through with that as well?
I do want to follow through with that. And I do agree with what she says. I think individually, I thought maybe we should do it together, but I think we both have some issues. We should do it first and then see how it goes.
Do you think this can work? Do you want this to work?
Yes, I do. I love my wife. And, you know, I want it to work. It's just the drinking. Need to be prepared. It needs to stop.
What can you do for yourself to kind of meet her halfway there?
I mean, I'll take the judge's recommendations. I'll do the counseling. I'll do whatever it takes to save my marriage because I do love my wife.
Follow us on Instagram for additional content from this case and preview our next all-new episode.